Hey everyone, my name is Jackie Abram. I want to welcome you to today's event called How You Can Leave That Job and Pivot to Something Better. I'm going to be introducing my very special guest here in a moment, but before I dive into that, let me just do a quick introduction of myself for anyone who doesn't know me. So I am Jackie Abram. I am the international best-selling and award-winning author of Hush Money, How One Woman Proved Systemic Racism in Her Workplace and Kept Her Job. I am also the Global Toxic Workplace Consultant and Employee Advocate. And let me just tell you a little bit about what I do in my books. And I'm going to turn this music off because it's getting on the nerves a little bit. So give me 1 second here. Just get rid of that. All right, and if anybody knows me, you know I struggle with technology, so definitely bear with me, okay? Yeah, me and technology, we don't really get along so well. So I am going to try to turn that music off or down or something because I don't really like it, so do bear with me, guys. See if I can find where that little music is. And if not, we'll just talk right over it and then I'll close this and it'll go away. Okay. So like I said, I am the international best-selling and award-winning author of Hush Money, How One Woman Proved Systemic Racism in Her Workplace and Kept Her Job, and the author of the sequel, Hush Money, The Cost of Being Black in Corporate America. I'm featured in Forbes. I've also been featured on ABC affiliates and on Spectrum News, among other platforms. I'm #1 on Goodreads for Best Eye-Opening African American Women's Fiction, and #1 in Books to Build Up Your Social Justice Literacy on Racism in the U.S. Hush Money, the very first book that we wrote that started us on this trail, my daughters and I, actually received the gold medal for social issues genres from Reader's Favorite. And our newest book, and probably our most powerful book, this is one that we recently released, is called Surviving in a Toxic Workplace, Strategies to Help You Protect Your Career. Again, this is probably the most powerful book that we've ever written. This book went to #1 on Amazon in less than 24 hours. And so let me just tell you a little bit about why. I'm going to show you just a little bit of a snippet from my book and show you why this particular book is something that I think is our best book thus far. So this is the cover. This book is written by me and my youngest daughter, Delilah Harris. And as you scroll through the book, you're not just getting the warning. So a lot of times people are in these toxic jobs and they don't realize that there are actually many warning signs that lead to termination. And so this book is unique because it tells you what happened to me in one of the organizations in higher education that I worked in through the eyes of a character I call Ebony. Ebony is someone that I created that allows me to do this work without getting myself in legal trouble, because over my career, I received 5 different large settlements, multiple 6-figure settlements from companies that I used the same strategy on, which I have now documented in this book for you. And so you're going through the story of what happened to me through the eyes of Ebony, and you're getting the warnings along the way. Now, there are warnings and then there are termination warnings. So for example, the removal of duties. This is a clear red flag that your toxic leader is setting you up to terminate you within 30 days, to decrease your value, limit your exposure, and make it easier for them to manage you out. So you get the warnings and then you get the termination warnings. But you also get the lessons. So at the end of each chapter, you get a summary of what happened in that chapter. You get the lessons, documenting changes and responsibilities is critical to protect yourself and actually turn the tables on that toxic leader. But then you get my strategy. So in this case, the E in email stands for evidence, is the strategy that I used to fight this particular termination warning. And it is very, very effective. But then you also get the template for how I set this leader up. And so that's what makes this book so powerful, because at the end of every chapter, we go over all of the warnings that were in that chapter, the strategy to fight it, and I give you the template. So this is a powerful, powerful book, and it is definitely worth its weight in gold. And it's only $9.99 USD on Amazon. So I would definitely get this book, especially if you are in a toxic workplace. And so with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to ask my wonderful, wonderful friends and beautiful guests, people that I've actually done events with on their platforms and on mine. We've just become great friends. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves, and then I'm going to turn this over to them, because this event is about them today. We've got a really exciting event coming up, and we're going to dive right into that. All right, so who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for having us, Jackie. My name is Marissa Price. I am a social worker. I'm a healing practitioner, helping Black women heal from traumatic experiences, especially in the workplace. And I'm also the co-founder of the 2025 Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black Women. This is our second year hosting the virtual summit that saw over 300 Black women attend last year, to begin to make your exit strategy and heal from the aftermath of toxic, traumatic work environments with Dr. Kimani. And so I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Jackie. I am Dr. Kimani. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. I've been licensed over 20 years. I'm also a toxic job survivor, but more importantly, I'm a toxic job liberator for Black women. I have a YouTube channel, Lifting Us Through Climb Consulting Wellness Services, where I talk about not only my healing journey from a toxic job that I resigned from, but also I provide a platform for other Black women to talk about their healing journey, so that Black women know they're not alone in being in toxic jobs. So many of us have had a toxic job, but also that we have options, and I provide resources as well. I'm the co-founder with Marissa Price of the second annual Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black Women, coming up May 16th. So coming up this Friday.
Yes.
I could hardly believe it. And I am very excited, and for good reason, as you know, because I'm one of the speakers in the summit. Thank you so much for asking. And so can we start off by just talking about, what exactly is the 2025 Job Liberation Virtual Summit, and why should Black women attend?
Yeah, so this is really a one-stop shop of exit planning strategies. We have over 20 Black women coming to share their expertise, lived experiences. So many of us are toxic job survivors ourselves. So giving Black women in attendance, right, the game plan, the strategy, how we did it, how we pivoted to better opportunities, and how we realized that being traumatized in a toxic work environment was not our only choice, right? That there's so many options out there. So we have so many Black women from all different areas of expertise coming to share, right, how to reclaim yourself on the full day one, Saturday, May 17th. And then Sunday is really May 18th, is about making your strategy. So your exit strategy, we have people talking about how to replace your income, right, how to create multiple income streams, how to revise your resume if you're looking to pivot to another job. And so just so many great things to share in one place, because we know when we're in toxic work environments trying to put together an exit strategy while you're dealing with the mental, the physical health ramifications of being traumatized can be a lot. And so we wanted to create a safe place. There will be no attendees on camera. You can also have the option to change your name within the Summit platform after you register, to create a really safe environment for Black women in particular, because what we see happening right in the US, in the world, that's specifically directed towards Black women. So this is a safe place for us to begin to exit plan, make our strategies, and really envision different options than toxicity.
Yes. And Marissa, can you share about the four bonus sessions that we have coming up too and Jackie's one of our bonus sessions.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have a bonus session on rebuilding your health, your career after a layoff, which is on the Monday following the actual summit. It's a Zoom bonus session for Freedom All Access Pass holders with Coach Tish. Tuesday after the summit, we have a session with Janice Sutherland. She'll be leading it on Black women 50 plus, making their plan to pivot. Wednesday following the summit, we have a session with Jackie Abram, of course. Yes. We'll be talking about how to protect your career, right? Strategies to protect your career, going off your book that you just released, which is so important when you're in the midst of exit planning. How do you protect what you've already built and get through, right? So that's the third bonus session. And then the fourth bonus session will be Thursday with Dr. Roche, who is a financial psychologist, on how to get your finances together in order to make your exit strategy. So those are the 4 bonus sessions on Zoom following the actual summit that are available to Freedom All Access Pass holders.
And may I add that these are all Black women speakers. So this summit is for Black women. It's a virtual summit for Black women by Black women. So all Black women speakers who are sharing information. And because Marissa and I are both toxic job survivors and we're mental health professionals, we have an understanding of what it's like to be in a toxic job. And we're very intentional about creating a space that is safe for us as Black women, where we can learn from one another and get the resources, particularly about replacing your income, because replacing your income is often the main issue that keeps us stuck in a toxic job. So we have a number of sessions talking about various ways to replace your income, what to do about your health insurance. That's another big one that keeps it as a toxic job. And also what to do about your retirement and your health insurance. So all of that is covered. And again, you're learning from other Black women, and it's also recorded. So if you can't come to all days, it's recorded so you can go back and learn from it again.
And this is the second annual event. Is that correct?
That is true.
Right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And I know there was a large turnout for that first event, right?
300 Black women.
Yes, I think that's fantastic.
From all over the world.
Globally.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And I know that you've heard me say that, what happens to Black women in the workplace, it's not the result of unconscious bias. It's actually a bunch of unconscious BS, because the people that are targeting Black women and getting them out of their careers, they actually are fully aware of what they're doing. And that's why they inspire others in the organization to conspire against these women, because they know that 2 heads are better than 1.
True.
And so, Dr. Kimani, can you talk about the danger of reducing systemic racism or workplace abuse to unconscious bias, trying to discount it as unconscious bias instead of what it really is?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that question, because what I encounter is so many of us have had toxic work environments. And so a common reaction to this is to evaluate ourselves. Well, there must be something wrong with me that I keep having these toxic work environments. But the problem is that we're only looking at the individual. We're not recognizing how many of us have toxic work experiences. One to one, like keep going on. So we have to look at the systemic issues of racism, sexism, and other intersectional issues that contributes to why these environments are the way they are for us as Black women. And the thing that really trips us up as Black women is that we're often overqualified as we get these jobs, right? These other people can be mediocre at best, they're failing forward, but as Black women, we have to be twice as good to get half as much. So we come in and we're sought out for our outstanding work abilities, but then we come in and people initially act like they appreciate it, but then there's that switch. So it's a pet to threat dynamic that many Black women experience. So I just want to briefly talk about pet to threat for people who are not familiar with it. Pet to threat was created by 3 Black women researchers, Dr. Juanita Johnson Bailey, Dr. Keisha Thomas, Dr. Rosemary Phelps. And that deals with when a Black woman is sought out or brought into the workplace because of her outstanding work abilities. Oh, Jackie, we love you. You're so smart. You're changed this whole organization. We couldn't survive without you. Jackie's a pet. Marissa's a pet. I'm the pet, right? They love you. But then you start outshining other people in the workplace. And there's a shift in how you're seen and treated as if you're the threat. So this is the part, it doesn't make logical sense. And this is what trips a lot of us up. So we start thinking, wait a minute, I'm a great employee. I, contribute so much to the job. I get outstanding job evaluations. I've been promoted. And you never understand like what happened to that switch. When a switch happens, that's when we need to be mindful and pay attention to this because there's no winning from that. So once a switch has happened, you've got a target on your back and they will do whatever they can to get you out because now it's not about the organization. They don't care about the organization. They care about you, Black woman. I'm going to put you in your place, right? So you're thinking, wait a minute, we're on a team and I'm driven to do this work and you're thinking one thing, they're thinking something totally different because again, as Black women, we're committed to the work, we're hard workers, and then we start trying to logically make sense out of things. And my dear friend Colette Elizabeth says 3 qualities you need to watch out for. So when you have the pet to threat dynamic, but she also said there's 3 qualities you need to watch out for. People who are deeply insecure, who are incompetent and immature. That triad you need to watch out for because when you're getting that, again, people's ego are now injured. And so they see you as a problem because now you can potentially reveal that they are the true imposters in the workplace. So they are the ones who are deeply incompetent, but they will try to project that onto you. So we have to be mindful when that insanity is happening to be able to say, wait, this is crazy. Pause, right? When this happens, please do not talk to your coworkers. Don't vent with your coworkers. Go to somebody where you can reality test about what is happening so that you can understand, wait a minute, it's this job environment and they're gaslighting me, making me think that I'm the problem, right? So then we start working harder, contributing to burnout. So when that happens, we start self-gaslighting ourselves. So the self-gaslighting is, it must be me. What did I do wrong? How can I fix this? You cannot fix it. You cannot fix it. And the problem is that as Black women, we've been socially programmed as Black women that we stay in these environments. You stay at the good job with the good benefits, and you don't let people run you out of a good job. Right. So then we start lying to ourselves that it's not really bothering me. I got this. I'm not going to let the. But we're ignoring. Number one, you can never win the game, never, because you never know really what's going on behind the scenes. The other thing is we're not looking at the cost of us being in these toxic work environments. So what I want us to know as Black women is that we have options, even though it may feel like we don't, right? I want us to detach ourselves from the lies of, oh, I'm going to fight these people. I'm not going to let them win. We got to discount that, okay? We have to prioritize our own health, not only our physical and our mental health, but also the health of our family, because they're bearing witness, our friends, they're bearing witness to what is happening to us, and they're being injured too. So as Black women, we have to, one, pause and recognize what is happening. It's crazy, and it's crazy making. Number 2, we have to reality test so we know that we are not the problem. Number 3, we have to recognize there's options available to us. We do not have to stay at that job. And Jackie, that when we think about leaving a job, we're not telling anybody to just up and leave a job.
That's
we
right.
are not saying that. Let's be
That's
clear.
right.
We're not telling anybody to do that. We're not telling anybody, girl, you're going to be okay. Things will come together. We are not saying that, okay? The only time I say leave that job immediately is if you're in danger physically and or psychologically. You're about to have a nervous breakdown, go, okay?
Well,
But if,
you know what I say? I say it's okay to walk away from a
yes,
toxic job.
it's
Just
okay.
don't walk away empty-handed. Walk away
Right.
with your pockets full. Okay?
Exactly. And so what we're doing at the summit is to help Black women get prepared, right? So by coming to the summit, you're getting all the resources that you need. So you know how to replace your income, get multiple streams of income, what to do about your health insurance, what to do about your retirement, so that you can pivot when you want to pivot. You can create your exit plan. Nobody needs to know that you're doing that. but you could do it on your own terms, as Marissa mentioned. Privacy consideration at the summit. No attendees will be seen on camera. Names will not be listed. If someone wants to make a comment or a question, they can change their name in a platform. So we don't want the fear of people finding out that you're at the summit keep you from accessing the information. We want you to be ready, particularly during this time of job insecurity. We want Black women to be ready to be able to pivot on their own terms and pivot out and do well, make money. And the saying, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So there's no harm of coming to the summit and getting information. So when you're ready to bounce, you can bounce. Or if you've already been laid off, letting you know what you need to do now that you've been laid off.
That's absolutely right. My thing is, and I've shared this in our most recent live event with your audience, Dr. Kimani. I made a conscious decision. I said, okay, I am a Black woman. I am skilled. I have everything they said that they needed. I look good on paper. I communicate across the board. But here it is, now my career was derailed 5 different times. Okay. By the 3rd time, I'm having a conversation with God and I'm saying, okay, obviously these people are not going to let me succeed the way that the world is right now, because the first thing they see before they notice anything else about me is they see that I am a Black woman.
That's right.
And so I'm going to then approach these jobs knowing that some asshole is going to target me and try to take me down, but I'm going to be ready for them, okay?
Yes.
And when they do, that starts my clock, okay? So they think they're going to terminate me after 30 days, but I know the playbook, okay?
Right.
I see the warning signs. I know the termination warning signs. So that's when my 7-month clock starts. And I say, from this moment, Lord, I'm going to have a 6-figure settlement in 7 months. Okay. 7 months from now, I'm going to have my 6-figure settlement. Some of these folks are going to be fired, and I'm going to have the seed money to then start my own business. Okay.
Exactly.
So that's the way that I approached it. I turned it into a business. I said, okay, I'm going to just keep taking down folks along the way until I got the money that I need to do what I do now.
Yes.
And so I really love what you guys are doing, because we're thinking along the same lanes. Why stay on the corporate plantation, okay, when you can be liberated from it?
Yes. And Jackie, you brought something else up about spirituality. And I think it's important for us to lean into that and recognize, though, sometimes when you're in a toxic work environment, it can cause spiritual harm as well. So when I was in the toxic job, it impacted me physically, it impacted me psychologically, but it also impacted me spiritually, to the point where I was questioning, why would God do this to me? I thought I was being punished. I couldn't understand it. I was like, why would you do this to me, God? I'm a good person. I'm a great employee. I contribute all these different things. And so for me, I had to be in therapy with a Black woman. I'm a therapist with a therapist. I had to be in therapy with another Black woman who reality tested with me. And she told me, she broke it down. She was like, God has not left you. God is giving you signs that you're not paying attention to. God is saying, girl, lead this job. Okay. I'm not paying attention. And God is asking a rescue mission to get you out of this environment that is too small for you. I see something bigger and better for you. You don't see it, but I can see it for you. And God is helping. God is trying to get you out. God is trying to save you, but you got to listen to what God is saying. So you got to be obedient. And that was very difficult for me.
Absolutely. And so, let me just ask you this question. For me, I made a plan that I was going to permanently leave the corporate plantation. But because I knew how to fight and I know their playbook, okay, all of these ridiculous people, no matter what country you're in, no matter what job you have, you could be the custodian or the CEO. There is a playbook, and the playbook is the same. And so that's what makes this really great, is that if you know the playbook and you know the warnings and you know the signs, you can fight it. You can stop them in their tracks. You
Yeah.
can turn the tables on them, okay? But you've got to be aware. Your eyes have to be open, because you cannot fight what you can't see. Okay.
Right.
And so my mom, as I talked about during our last event on your channel, my mom, just the most wonderful mom in the whole world. I mean, just, I cannot think of enough adjectives to describe how wonderful my mom was, okay? And still is, because she's still mom.
Yeah.
But her motto back then was don't make waves. So
Ooh.
she was afraid to make waves because, we were very poor, like I said, and I mean, we were poor. For example, we were trash surfing in garbage bins behind carpet stores, grabbing whatever scraps of carpet we could find so that we could take home and sew them together. And, I always smile when I think about this because, in the Bible, Joseph was very proud of his coat of many colors. Well, we were proud of our carpet of many colors. I mean, every size and shape you could imagine, but we sewed those pieces together and we were really proud. So when mom got a good job finally, and she was able to stop tearing up the yellow page phone books and putting it in the bathroom in place of toilet tissue. She could actually afford to buy real tissue. When we stopped eating dog biscuits that the neighbor would give us in place of cookies, because we couldn't afford real cookies. When mom was able to buy me, shoes that actually fit, so I didn't have to continue wearing shoes that were 2 sizes too small. And mom could actually afford to buy me real stud earrings and pull out the straw that was burned on each end that she put in my ears and the holes that she made herself with a sewing needle and a clothespin and ice. She didn't want to risk confronting the toxic leaders that had her fate in their hands, her career in their hands. She didn't want to confront them because she had gained a little bit of financial security, and she knew that one wrong move could easily take it away.
Yeah.
Okay. So she adopted the motto, don't make waves. And that worked for her decades ago. You cannot do that in this day and age because they will not let you. You can be quiet, you can stay off the grid, you can stay off the radar, but they will still target you.
True.
You can't just say, I'm just going to lay low and be invisible and no one will ever bother me, because that does not work in this day and age.
Yeah. It's interesting, Jackie, like there's so many parallels for us as Black women and our experiences over time. So it might look a little different, but there's a lot of similarities where even to this day, even Black women commenting right now, many Black women in these toxic work environments are in survival mode. So your mother was in survival mode. She recognizes, uh-oh, I got to protect my family. I got to provide for my family. So I'm going to fawn. I'm going to just not make any waves. I'm going to make things as easy as possible because I don't want to draw attention to us. So that was her survival mechanism. What I see with a lot of Black women right now is the freeze response, right? So when we think about what's happening in dangerous situations, I'm just going to break it down biologically. So when we are in dangerous situations, our body, our brain perceives we're in a dangerous situation. So there's something called the amygdala in our brain, and the amygdala perceives, uh-oh, we're in danger, right? And evolutionary, we need the amygdala. We're in danger. And so when we perceive we're in danger, the amygdala takes over, right? So when the amygdala takes over, we go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, okay? So that's a survival mechanism. But when we're in this survival mode, we can't access our prefrontal cortex. That's when we plan, we organize, we have judgment, utilize judgment, right? So if we're always in survival mode, Many of us are in survival mode. We can't even think of exit planning. Like what? Like I'm just trying to make it day to day. Let me just go to this job, put my head down, do what I gotta do, but it's gonna keep us stuck. So the hope is that people, Black women, come to the virtual summit where we're in a safer environment with other Black women, where we can turn down that survival brain so the amygdala is kind of turned down a little bit and we can access our prefrontal cortex for planning, organization, and judgment. So I'm so glad you brought that up, Jackie, because we are seeing so many Black women, particularly right now, thinking that, oh my God, there's so much chaos and confusion right now. I can't make any moves right now. I gotta just stay put. But what we're seeing right now is things are constantly changing.
Yes.
So if we don't get prepared, now we're more at risk for something really bad happening to us because we're not planning, we're not preparing. So again, the summit is really an opportunity for us to get prepared as Black women, no matter what, that we'll be ready.
And Marissa, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think with the fear, the chaos that we're seeing, Dr. Kimani's so right. A lot of us are just in freeze mode, right? We don't even know like how to move forward, so we just like kind of buckle down the environments that we're in now. But if they're harming you, right, a toxic environment does not get better. So just having that understanding and knowing that you have the resources through the summit that we're co-hosting, right, to be able to make your exit plan, your pivot plan on your timeline. There is no rushing people through this process, right? Sometimes it takes people a year plus to get things in order, which we recognize both of us had to do this, being in toxic jobs. But the goal is, right, knowing that you have the information there and that you don't have to try to cobble it together yourself while you're experiencing trauma, while you're still trying to figure out the next step forward. You're in a community of Black women who are literally on the same accord, right, of freeing ourselves from these very harmful environments.
Absolutely. And so, Marissa, I'm going to give this question to you first. Can you share an example where you or someone that you knew or know kind of broke free from that self-gaslighting? I hear people walking around saying they have imposter syndrome. And I have to tell them, sweetie, you do not have imposter syndrome, okay? You know how to do your job. You are exceptional at doing your job, but they become so broken that they start thinking, and I'll be honest, I was one of them. By the end of my career, because the same thing kept happening to me, I was convinced that there was something fundamentally wrong with me, something that I could not fix. Okay. And that is a very dangerous place to be. Okay. And a lot of people are doing that. They're thinking, well, it's not happening. I mean, this can't be what I think it is. This can't be racism. This can't be discrimination. Or, they're thinking, I just am not good enough to do this job. Okay. And neither are true, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I think that moment for me was starting therapy or restarting therapy. With the experience that I was having in the job, I actually used my employer's employee assistance program for 8 free therapy sessions, which really changed my life. Being able to work with a therapist and have her reflect back to me that it was not me, because that's why I hadn't entered therapy initially, to be able to cope better, I guess, in the environment that I was in. Again, as you mentioned, Jackie, thinking something was wrong with me, kind of picking myself apart from the inside, right? Self-doubt was seeping in. The spiral was starting to happen of anxiety and depression. And so entering therapy and really having her, as Dr. Kimani said, like reality test with me, that it's not you, right? It's just the environment. And once you're able to leave this environment, make your pivot plan out of it, you'll see, right, that it's just the environment, and having the opportunity to take FMLA leave. So I took 11 weeks because I was experiencing depression in this job, and having that brain space and like imagination open to be able to realize, right, all these skills that I came in with that I had been honing over the course of my life really were still there. When I was in the midst of that toxic traumatic work environment, it felt like those skills had kind of like went away and I didn't have them anymore. But that space really allowed me to be able to reconnect with the true essence of myself. And I think also being in Dr. Kimani's chats, right, on her channel, Lifting as We Climb Consulting on YouTube, and hearing and seeing other Black women share their stories and seeing how similar our experiences are in the workplace, right? Because we're being specifically targeted. This is a pattern that's happening over and over again in the workplace, allowed me to externalize what was happening to me instead of internalize, right? So I was able to externalize it to the environment versus, again, feeling like something was wrong with me and picking myself apart from the inside, starting that spiral. So those were really the two big things: therapy and getting into community with other Black women, sharing our stories transparently.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know that you have a preview of what is going to be talked about in the various sessions of the summit. And so why don't we take a moment and show our audience what they're in store for.
Okay. I just shared my screen. So
very good.
There we go. Okay, here we go. Are you a Black woman who is looking to make your pivot from a job that's not serving you?
What's happening to them is not the result of unconscious bias. That's a bunch of unconscious BS.
I didn't deserve any of it, and you don't either.
If you've ever been overlooked, boxed in, underpaid or underestimated or told to wait your turn,
the people that are working together to destroy your career know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, you can't heal in the environment that harmed you. You got to pick up your feet and leave.
We have been led to believe that we have to shrink ourselves to fit into systems that weren't built for us in the first place.
We know, unfortunately, as Black women, a lot of us experience many toxic work environments.
And it does more than just drain our energies. It actually challenges our very essence.
The Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black Women is for you.
It's Prill, and I am honored to return as your moderator for the 2025 Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black Women.
Katrina Marie here, also known as the Boss Chick Biz Coach. I am here to resuscitate your life and your dreams.
Hey, it's Dr. O'Shea, the Dr. Rethinking.
This is Halisi. I am the co-founder of Our Black Utopia.
I am Kim with the Gems.
Last year, over 300 Black women gathered for what I can only call a moment.
In the session that I'll be facilitating with Liberation and Longevity, we're going to be ensuring wellness beyond the toxic workplace.
And I'm going to be talking about how to get your money right so you can leave that toxic job.
We went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 billion in net worth. I will be talking to you about how you can get your financial act together.
How to maximize your income by leveraging your talent.
I'm Janice Sutherland, CEO of This Woman Can and career strategist for the mature Black woman.
I'm Giovanna Mae Reese, founder of the Hiatus Space, where I help ambitious women set boundaries, reclaim their energy, and live with clarity.
I'm Dr. Kimani. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist of over 20 years. I'm also a toxic job survivor, but more importantly, I'm a toxic job liberator, and I'm co-hosting with Marissa Price the second annual Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black Women.
Alicia Renice, and I am a multi-passionate and healing artist, as well as the founder of Black Girl Creative.
Rashni Cope, a certified life coach, helping Black and West Indian women create whole and healed lives that they love.
Pivot with Power. Changing Careers When You're Over 50. A session designed specifically for Black women over 50 who are ready to reinvent their careers on their terms.
My session, Reclaim Your Breath, a stress relief toolkit for Black women. I am going to teach you how to take that instinctive sigh and turn it into a daily practice.
Afroflow yoga is a mix between African dance and yoga. There's so many things in this world that try to dim our light, and we're going to be doing Afroflow yoga in ways that protect our light and cultivates our light and really supports our healing.
I want to really dive into how we can recover our creativity, how we can even recover some of our dreams.
Vision Your Liberation will help you reconnect with the woman who is already free.
Hi, my name is Rashida Dow. I am a career break coach.
Anne-Marie of the Anti-HR Consultancy and the Anti-HR channel on YouTube.
Jasmine Williams-Jacobs, founder and director of Black Remote She, which is a community-driven job platform for Black, queer, trans, non-binary people and allies interested in working remotely.
I'm Patrice Williams-Lindo, CEO of Career Nomad and the creator of the RNA Method.
I'm Rashida James. I'm a senior career consultant at Black on the Job.
I'm going to tell you how to separate
separate who you are from what you do, how to turn that discriminatory, hostile work environment into the cash and the check that allows you to pursue your freedom.
We'll talk through some of the ways that you can identify workplaces that are having those centered policies that center anti-oppressive principles.
Rebrand and rise, building your personal brand for a bold career pivot.
Skills pay the bills because your knowledge, skills, and abilities, they're your currency. And it's time to make sure they are paying what you're really worth.
I'm Jackie Abram, international best-selling and award-winning author, the global toxic workplace consultant, employee advocate, helping Black women all around the world fight the discrimination they're experiencing.
I am Krishan Wright, the founder and chief freedom advocate at Blacksa Global and the host of the Blacksa Global podcast.
I'm Coach Yolanda, certified spiritual life coach and founder of the Evolved Community, an online sanctuary for Black women who are looking to do soul work.
I'm Marissa Price. I am a social worker helping Black women heal from highly traumatic workplace environments and reclaim their self-worth and authenticity.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Perry. I am the co-founder, co-creator of Exodus Summit and Exodus ASAP.
The warning signs that you need to know that lead to termination.
Passport to prosperity, how to make money anywhere.
I am pleased to join you to make sure that your minds are liberated.
How to take your power back, how to reclaim your skill set, rebuild your self-worth.
Black women, while you're working on these liberation practices, go ahead and quit that job too.
I was able to say goodbye to corporate America 20 years before they told me that I should be able.
It's never too late. It is never too late.
You're not lost. We are here.
Break free from those golden handcuffs, honey.
Reclaim your value.
If you have a desire for it, there's already a version of you that hasn't.
It's not about starting over. It's about starting wiser.
It's not simply an event. It is a sanctuary, a movement.
Community is waiting for you. New opportunities are waiting for you. A new horizon is waiting for you.
It is your time to shine.
Your liberation is not just possible, it's divine, and it's waiting on you.
If you would like to attend completely anonymously, that is your right to do so. We look forward to you joining us at the 2025 Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black Women, May 16th through 18th. Register now.
And I hope I see you turning in that letter.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I am so excited to be part of it. And, I cannot wait for my session because, at the beginning of this event, we talked about, those warnings and those termination warnings. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on in my session during the event is showing you how you can spot, those warnings and those termination warnings and how you can fight it. So we're going to be talking a lot about strategy in my session. So I would love to see some of the folks that are with us live or watching the replay attending. And have we covered? Okay, great. I see the link here. You know what? Let's make sure that we keep reposting that. Cassandra, if you wouldn't mind, if you would every so often just keep popping that link in. Girl, I need help because my technology skills, now back in the day, I used to say I was the technology queen, but as I have gotten older, some things don't, work quite as well as they used to. So I could use a little bit of help. So if you would every so often just keep reposting that link to make it easily accessible for folks, that would be great. All right. And so how many speakers, we saw lots of wonderful videos, lots of folks that are going to be doing amazing things. But how many speakers total are there?
I think we have 23.
That is incredible.
So there are 4, including the 4 bonus Zoom sessions with the All Access Pass, which happened after the actual summit to make it a more intimate experience on Zoom. I think we have about 23 Black women coming in to share expertise, lived experience, practical guidance, strategy, right? So that you don't have to be out here trying to make a plan yourself. You have information from people who've already done it.
And the Zoom bonus sessions are in the evening. So the summit kickoff is that Friday. It's this Friday. Excuse me. It is this Friday. The summit starts this Friday. In the evening is the kickoff with Coach Yolanda to kind of ground us into centering ourselves. That's Friday evening. And then all day Saturday, all day Sunday, as I mentioned before, it is recorded. So don't feel like, oh, I can't sit there the whole time. I got things to do. It is recorded. And the bonus sessions, Monday through Thursday, are in the evening hours. Okay. So if you're still working, you can still come. Okay. So don't let any of those things stop you from coming. And also know that this is an investment in you. So think about what you spend money on, and you might say, "Oh, I don't think I need to go," or "Oh, I can figure it out myself." You're learning from Black women who are at the top of their game, who have already done the thing, and they're sharing it with you. So you don't have to try to figure it out on your own. The other thing is we have to think about when we spend money, are we just throwing away our money? Right? I get my nails done too, okay? But are we throwing away our money? Are we also thinking about spending our money in ways that we are getting a return on our investment? If you saw that lineup of speakers, that wasn't even all the full lineup. The lineup, Jackie's conversation in and of itself is worth the price of the summit ticket, right? So just think about the return on investment that you're going to get with the knowledge that you're getting, and you're in a community with other Black women. As I mentioned before, we had over 300 Black women last year, all around the world. No matter what your profession, your education level is, you can be in a situation where maybe the job is not so bad. To I can't stand this job, get me out of here. To I've already retired, or I've been laid off. This summit is for any Black woman, any Black woman.
Well, and I want to stress the urgency about what we're experiencing in this day and age. There was a statistic that was floated around on the news and many posts on LinkedIn, where they said just during the month of April.
Yeah.
Yes, what was it? It was well over 100,000 Black women lost their jobs, because of what's happening in the world right now, because of who. And so because of that, we don't have a choice. We have to be ready to pivot, okay?
Absolutely.
And you don't want to be the person who's waiting until the last minute to have a plan B, okay? Because it's not like it was, like I said, back in the day, where mom could stay off the radar. She could just, shrink within herself, suffer in silence and just stay off the grid so she could keep her job. They're not allowing folks to do that in this day and age. They are targeting you, whether you are vocal or whether you are silent, okay?
Yeah.
So you've got to be thinking about that. What can I do to protect my ability to provide for my family if I all of a sudden am targeted? And they're doing it quickly. Back in the day, it would take them, months, possibly even years to get a Black woman out of their position. That's not the case. And that's actually what prompted me to show folks what the playbook is. It happens very, very, very quickly, okay? And all it really takes is a change in leadership. I have many, many clients that I've helped numerous people get six-figure settlements. But last week, I got a doctor, my very first. It wasn't quite seven figures, but it was pretty darn close, okay? So that was a first for me. Very, very exciting, okay? But if you know the playbook and you act now and you take advantage of the people who have successfully done what you may find yourself needing to do, all of the experts that are speaking from their lived experiences at the summit, you're going to be better prepared should you find yourself needing to tap into those resources, okay? I wish I could say that you could wait it out, but unfortunately, that's not what I'm seeing. And like I said, I help many, many Black women. I have clients in the US, the UK, in France, in Canada, in Australia, and they're targeting Black women the exact same way.
Yeah.
And they're quickly derailing your career, not in years, but in a matter of weeks or even months, okay?
Yeah.
So you want to start getting prepared on, what is my next step should I find myself in a situation like this.
Yeah.
One of the most heartbreaking things that I see in my consultancy
Mhm.
are the number of women, it is just heartbreaking, that are in their 60s, okay?
Mhm.
They've been on their jobs for decades, they've been on their
Mhm.
jobs for years, and
Mhm.
now all of the sudden, they are finding that I was reporting to this amazing boss. This boss left for whatever reason. They
Mhm.
brought in someone else, and now it is clear that this person is derailing my career and doing it with lightning quick speed
Yeah.
because they've inspired others to conspire with them, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
able to ramp up those efforts and do it fast.
Absolutely.
Yes, and who wants to start over, trying to go back to interview with the market being so saturated? Because if you think about all of the federal people,
Mhm.
okay, that have lost their jobs in just recent months, in like the last couple of months,
Mhm.
it's well over 300,000 people that are now all looking for work.
Mm.
Okay, and you're not even getting that human interaction anymore when you're trying to just get an interview.
Yeah.
AI is being used in a lot of companies now to screen you and pick the best person that they think from the AI's perspective.
Yeah.
So it's making it much more difficult for people to go and get jobs quickly, especially high paying jobs, okay?
Yeah, so true. I just wanted to mention too, because you made reference to the Black Enterprise article, that Black women are outpacing any other group in terms of job loss, which is
Yes.
outrageous. And then you're also talking about issues of ageism. And, we might think that if I've been at a job for so long, I'm so loyal. They do not care. They don't care. So during the summit, that's why we're having Janice Sutherland talk to Black women 50 and above about how to pivot from that job. One of our summit speakers is also talking about resume writing. So, how to get your resume to kind of stand out, because we know that AI is screening all those different resumes. And
Yes.
I thought the question came in about the different passes. So, Marissa, can you tell them about what's included in the Liberation Pass and what's included in the Freedom Pass?
Yeah, so the Liberation Standard Pass gives you access to the summit. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All sessions, we have 10 sessions each on Saturday and Sunday. And then Friday, May 16th, is our kickoff with Coach Yolanda, which will be the guided meditation. And then the All Access Pass gives you first replays for 1 full year if you need more time to digest the information, to sit with it, to make your plan, as well as those 4 bonus Zoom sessions that we laid out, one being with Jackie on how to protect your career, right strategies to protect your career, with Janice Sutherland for Black Women 50 Plus, making their pivot plan, with Dr. Roche, how to get your financial plan in order to leave. And yeah, so these are the 4
And
bonus
Coach Tish.
sessions.
And Coach
Coach
Tish.
Tish, sorry, yes, Coach Tish, who will be speaking to healing, right? Healing, rebuilding your career, your health after a layoff on Monday following the summit.
Yeah.
So the Liberation Standard Pass does provide you with replays for 4 days. If you do have to miss a session, you can go back and watch it during those 4 days as well.
Love it, love it. And so, we're getting close to the end of our event, but I do want to give folks an opportunity to type in the chat any questions that they may have. So if you have a question that you would like to ask Dr. Kimani or Marissa, I think I'm doing pretty good, monitoring the chat. I'm very proud of myself, okay? I am proud of myself. And so I also want to, as folks are typing any questions that they may have about the summit, or just that they want to ask you in general, while they're doing that, I'm going to just put up a little thing that I want to let you guys know is also available. So let me share my screen, and I've made sure that music is not on, because I'm going to have to find a different set of music to to listen to as I'm doing these from now on, because I'm not really feeling that one too much. But let me just go ahead and share some information as folks type any questions that they have. Okay, so if you like, I've got this whole Panther thing going on. And, people always ask me, how do you get the Panther to stay still? Well, in actuality, my daughter creates these for me. So if you want photos like these that just really bring out who you are. Now, this is younger me, by the way, but this is what I used to look like before corporate America got a hold of me. And I do these because I want to remind myself of what I lost, and it gives me inspiration as I work towards reclaiming that part of myself. If anybody knows me, I actually did a live event called From Janet Jackson Lookalike to Medea, and how corporate America, impacted my physical health to such extremes that, I lost my hair, I gained 100 pounds of weight, and it took a lot to come back from that. So my daughter creates these for me based on my real images to remind me of, I've still got this person inside me. And every day I find myself inching closer and closer to the person and the confidence that was taken from me through years and years and years of discrimination in the workplace. So let me just show you a few more. So that's one. And she also does couples photos. So this was the day that her husband proposed to her. And they were at the beach, but this was her high school sweetheart. And she said, Mom, it was the most amazing moment, but the picture we took didn't quite capture what I felt inside, because this was her high school sweetheart who came back 10 years later and became the anchor that she and my grandson really needed. And then he proposed at the beach. So she decided with her skills that she was going to recreate that moment based on what she felt on the inside. And as you can see, her work is incredible, looks just like them. And so another one is, this one is one of my favorites. I had a client say that, I was an amazing combination of gentleness and fierceness. So I said, that sounds like a Panther moment.
Yeah.
So, she created this one for me. And I'll show you a few more. These are some that she's done for herself. She can put you in anything you want to wear, any place you want to be, doing anything you want to do. And you don't even have to leave your home. All you have to do is give her your selfies and she can transform them. Okay. And then this is the most recent one she did for me. And so this is the one I had her do when the client sent me the message letting me know, that I had gotten her almost 7 figures. And so I said, that's a Panther moment.
Yeah.
So my daughter's rates are very reasonable. Again, she can put you in anything you want to wear, anything you want to do, any place you want to be, any colors you want to be in, whatever you want, she can do it. There are no limits. And right now she's running a special. You get 2 customized, very high quality prints for your website or your brand launch or your dating site, just whatever you want to do. And they're so realistic, your spouse won't even be able to tell. Her price is $50 for 2. And so, again, that's my daughter. Here's her information, the introvert photo shoot at gmail.com. And so now with that being said, I'm going to be doing another Panther moment sometime in the near future. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so proud of my little Lila Bell.
Those are beautiful.
She keeps her mom straight. All right, now let's see if we've got any questions, okay? All right, thank you guys. Thank you for showing my
Jackie,
babies.
I was going to ask about your photos because they're amazing.
Yes, my daughter's incredible. And she does her mom proud. And, so I'm just really proud to be her, kind of her little model that she tests and tries things on. All right, so let's see if we have any questions. Let's see. I'm looking. Okay, let's see. Very good. So we just have wonderful comments. Okay, we've got by investing into Black-owned businesses, we invest into Black jobs. I love it. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Just going backwards. Okay, I've seen this cycle over and over again. Yes, you are absolutely right. So just want to put the prices up there one more time, for the liberation passes, the two different types. And I want to echo, Cassandra, definitely get your ticket. Here's the link. And, are there any closing thoughts that you guys want to talk about or mention?
Yeah, I wanted to elevate that when we make life changes, such as leaving a job, or if we've been laid off from a job, it can be very fearful. You can be just so terrified about what's going to happen next and not know what to do. And so it's important for us to validate that the fear is normal. It's normal to feel fear with any life change. It's normal. And to recognize that when we're experiencing fear, that we need to recognize or identify what are the things that can help us walk through the fear. So the fear response, again, fight, flight, or freeze, right? So what are the ways that we can still walk forward, that we don't get stuck in the fear and we don't just freeze, but what are the things that we can do to walk through the fear? Hopefully coming to the summit can help us as Black women walk through the fear, get the resources so we can make the plans for when we want to leave, or when we want to pivot based upon our own timeline. And that was actually I said live, but yes, live, because when you're in a toxic work environment, it's really draining your life. So like you said, Jackie, like that job did a number on you. That job did a number on me. My hair was falling out. I gained a lot of weight. I'm still trying to get the weight off now. And so get my life back. I'm getting my life back now that I've resigned. And I want Black women to know that it's possible to leave a job that's no longer serving you, to pivot from if you've been laid off, that we are able to do that. And as Black people, as Black women, we know how to pivot. We just need support. Okay. Our ancestors have pivoted. We just need some support. So my hope is that as Black women, we invest in ourselves. We see there's a resource available. Marissa and I are honorable people. We're not trying to pull anything over on you. As we mentioned before, there's a lineup of all-star Black women who want to pour into you and to support you. And the fear, again, the fear is normal. And I want to just put that out there because I don't want Black women to say, wait a minute, I'm scared. That means I need to stay. No, sis, that's not what they're saying. The fear is saying, uh-oh, you're feeling fear. What do you need to get in place to help you so you're not just out there? So the hope is at the summit, all the speakers, all the attendees, that we're walking together in community, because that is how we heal as in community. So we can heal from these environments. We have to leave though, because you can't heal in environments that are continuing to harm you, but to know that there's another way, and life is so much better on the other side once you leave. So much better.
That's right. And didn't I see a post today, and correct me if I'm wrong, I apologize ahead of time if I'm misspeaking, but I thought I saw that you were giving some tickets away. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we have a few left. Yeah, we announced a 100 ticket giveaway for Black women who were affected by layoffs and who are experiencing financial hardship in alignment with the article for Black Enterprise Magazine. I think both of us reading that last week and seeing like the glaring statistics about how Black women are being targeted for job cuts, for layoffs. Our unemployment rate from April to May is just astounding, right? So yes, we announced that, and I think the link is on my LinkedIn page. We have a few tickets remaining available. But yeah, you can find that on Marissa Price MSW LinkedIn. It's on my post to apply.
I think that is so wonderful, and I think it's so generous, and I really do hope that there are folks that will apply for those last tickets because I know it'll be a life-changing experience for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, if you were laid off, if you're a Black woman and you were laid off, okay, we're using an honor system, okay? If you're a Black woman, you've been laid off, there's only a few tickets left. So we announced it a couple of days ago that we were giving away 100 tickets, 100 tickets, okay? We only have a few left. So if you would like, if you're a Black woman who's been laid off from your job, then use that, go to the link and apply so you can get those remaining tickets. The other thing that I want to say is there's an option to sponsor Black women to come to the summit. So let's say that financially you're okay, or you want to give back, you want to reach back and help other Black women. You can also sponsor a Black woman to come to the summit, and it's anonymous. Nobody will know that you're sponsoring anybody. Just like if you get one of the sponsored tickets, no one will know your name, that you are getting one of the sponsored tickets. So we hope that in addition to you coming to the summit, that you will also sponsor another Black woman who can come, who really cannot afford to come.
I love that. I love that. And so are there any other closing thoughts before I give them a reminder one more time of my book?
Yeah, I would just say that you deserve better, right? You deserve better than toxicity, than being harmed day after day, especially in the US when we spend so much of our lives at work, right? The impact of a toxic work environment is not small. It impacts you, it impacts your family, it impacts your community at large. So knowing that you have options and that toxicity does not have to be one of them. I think so many of us are showing, right, different ways to navigate. If you want to go to a different job, that's not harmful, that's an option. If you want to pursue retiring early, that's an option. If you want to pursue freelancing or entrepreneurship, that's an option. All of these options await, but I think one of the tools of oppression is really to convince us that we don't have any options. We just have to stay being harmed. So knowing that you have the power to pivot, and that's what this community and this virtual summit is for.
Okay, very good. And we've got a question. Can you repeat the how to reach out to request a ticket?
Yes, so you can, I think it's on my LinkedIn tab. So Marissa Price, MSW. I posted it there with the link to apply. And then if you'd like to sponsor another Black woman to attend, you can reach out to us, support@liftingasweclimbconsulting.com.
And remember, it's first come, first serve. So once that 100 is gone, then that's it.
Absolutely. And so just before we end, just one more time, I want to remind you of my book. You know, this is our newest book written by me and my daughter, Delilah, who's also the virtual photographer, Surviving in a Toxic Workplace, Strategies to Help You Protect Your Career. Again, this is the most powerful book we've written. And if you are in a toxic job right now and you're needing help to walk away from that toxic job with pockets full, not empty-handed, go ahead and reach out to me. If you want to reach me, the best way to do so is to find me on LinkedIn. I, practically live on LinkedIn, or I'm going to give you my phone number, which is 719-582-6803. That's 719-582-6803. If you order this book, I will waive my consultation fee for you, okay? But you have to order this book and start diving in so that we can open your eyes to what's happening, okay? All right, and if there is anything else, last closing thoughts, let me just see if we have any more thoughts here, and then we can wrap up.
And I just want to share that you can follow Marissa and I on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Lifting As We Climb Consulting Wellness Services. I come on every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, sharing a story about a different Black woman who's gone through a toxic work environment and ways that she has pivoted and ways that she is healing now. And Marissa, can you share about your YouTube channel as well?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube at Marissa Price Heals, creating a safe space for Black women to share our stories, how we navigated traumatic experiences and made it to the other side. And it's really a healing place, corner of the internet for Black women globally. to be able to find solace and support and community in what we've experienced collectively.
Love it, love it. Thank you both so much. I'm glad we were able to get this event in. I'm excited to speak at my session and, just open some eyes to the playbook and what is going on and give them the strategies I repeatedly used. So thank you for that opportunity. Thank you for being my guest. And we'll catch you next time, guys. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
It's today. It's on Friday. It's on Friday.
That's right. Don't forget, it's on Friday. So get those tickets. Bye.